my name is Kiwi Natasha.
Hi everyone, my name is Nisha Emanuela Tawas from Group A.
My name is Wiska Putri Paputuan.
My name is Deva Natalia Oci.
My name is Mikael Dianurutu.
Introduction. Cultural psychologists suggest that three main domains of moral discourse exist in human society. First, the ethics of autonomy, the ethics of a community, and the ethics of divinity. Because the moral experiences of human beings are so complicated and the recognition of reality so restricted, even though all moral systems contain elements of all three of these domains, any particular moral system will tend to emphasize a particular domain of moral discourse.
Cultural psychology suggests that three main domains of moral discourse exist in human society: the ethics of autonomy, the ethics of community, and the ethics of divinity. Because the moral experience of human beings are complicated and the recognition of reality so restricted, even though all moral systems contain elements of all three of these domains, any particular moral system will tend to emphasize a particular domain of moral discourse.
Morality of the West. First, the ethics of autonomy in morality of the West. The contemporary Western moral system is characterized by the ethics of autonomy, which can be traced to the Judeo-Christian religious tradition. Christianity assumes that the world has created by God, who also created humankind in accordance with His own image. Since all humans were created in God's image, all humans are equal. Every person has the essence of humanity and should obey divine commandments declared by God. Second, the ethics of community in morality of the West. Western morality is premised on the concept of natural rights rather than on natural duties or social goals. Because individuals are construed as quasi-sacred and absolute, the legitimate demand should be carefully respected. The individual is an ultimate and indivisible monad, and every human group is made up of monads with the same human nature. Individuals' free will and right to liberty are natural, fundamental, and inescapable. By the same token, the right to respect other rights is equally natural and inescapable. One rights are restrained by the identical rights of the other individuals, and everybody is encouraged to strive for the rights of all human beings to the greatest overall liberty. Third, the ethics of divinity in morality of the West. This concept of person and its underlying discourse of divinity changed drastically after the Renaissance in Europe. The Cartesian philosophy of dualism detached individuals from the outer world where they find themselves. Rationalism emphasizes an individual's free will and subjective reasoning. The expansion of modern capitalism also made significant contribution to the rise of individualism. Morality of the East. First, the ethics of autonomy in morality of the East compare with Western ethics of autonomy. Ideas about individual rights are relatively uncommon in traditional Eastern moralities. According to Islam, the present life is short and temporary, while the future life is eternal and everlasting. Those who devote themselves to charity, especially those who sacrifice themselves for the Almighty Allah, may ascend to heaven. Those who indulge in evil doings will descend to hell. This kind of moral discourse fits within the model of Eastern moral system, that entail the ethics of community or the ethics of divinity, rather than the ethics of autonomy. And the last one, the ethics of community and divinity in morality of the East. Moral discourse supporting the ethics of community or divinity in the Oriental world, as revealed by sages or prophets, are regarded in classics such as the Analects of Confucianism, or religious scriptures such as the Quran of the Muslim faith or the Upanishads of Hinduism. Intellectuals who are able to interpret those classic or scriptures, like Confucian scholars in traditional China, Brahmins in Hindu society, priests in Islamic countries, and monks in Buddhist societies, have occupied high position in traditional and even contemporary societies. Their position is similar to that of priests in the Christian world before the European religious Reformation movement.
Content of the topic and subtopic. Eastern moral system entail the ethic of community or the ethic of divinity, which emphasize the importance of fulfilling one's duties or attaining to group goals. In contrast, Western morality highlights an individual's right of choice with utilitarian consideration rather than any enforced social demand of deontological concept. Negative duties are universal moral codes in most human societies, while positive duties are specific to non-Western societies, which are experiencing transformation in order to preserve their core values under the impact of Western individualism. Ethics is a branch of philosophy, also known as moral philosophy. It helps humans deal with humans' morality and concepts such as good and evil, right and wrong, virtue and vice, justice and crime. According to Dr. Richard Paul and Dr. Linda Elder of the Foundation for Critical Thinking, most people confuse ethics with behaving in accordance with social convention, religious belief, and the law, and don't treat ethics as a standalone concept. Paul and Elder define ethics as a set of concepts and principles that guide us in determining what behavior helps or harms sentient creature. However, culture, social convention, and upbringing has a major impact on equality. People from different cultures tend to have a set of ethics. This is evident in ethics of group of people from the Eastern culture of Korea to people from the Western culture. Ethics and morality are not inbuilt, they are taught. We learn moral and aspect of right from our parents, novel, fiction. Watching them, we develop a set idea of what is right and wrong, but many of what is acceptable and what is not.
Chinese place great emphasis on cultivating one's own morals, but does not provide a clear view of why people should want to become more virtuous and how they can do so through their own efforts. Chinese philosophers such as Meiji spoke of extending our virtues from our own family to those outside in the family, but provided no guidance on how or whether we should do this. Likewise, the West, Aristotle, and can offer the theory about how we can improve ourselves morally, but emphasizes habitation, the habit of repeating good deeds, or the habit of refusing to give into immoral temptations. Yet psychology today is skeptical about the efficacy of this means of moral self-improvement. Moral improvement is more easily through the influence of others than through one's own efforts. The idea that humans can and should cultivate their own virtues are faced in common in Western philosophy on the Confucian ethical tradition. But in this chapter, I hope to show you that this idea is in some important ways psychologically unrealistic and questionable. I will first discuss what the Confucian tradition has to say about cultivating the moral self, and then turn to what Western philosophers, most influentially Aristotle and Kant, had to say about making oneself morally virtuous or evil. However, self-development or self-formation is only one way one understands moral development or moral education, and I would like to start by briefly presenting current theories or in the West regarding moral development in general. Therefore, if moral learning or education can occur through the process of moral self-development, we need other examples to demonstrate such a possibility, and although I'm sure such examples may be found, I think they are quite rare, hard to get, and as I hope to show you below that scarcity gives us reason to wonder about the usefulness and feasibility of the kind of less of large-scale moral self-cultivation that Chinese do insist on being necessary and desirable. No Chinese thinker ever say that such successful moral development could not occur without the educational help of others. But I hope that when you reach the end of this chapter, you will agree with me that such moral development is psychologically impossible. To develop morally, we really need the help or influence of others. Or I structure my discussion here to consider the suggestion that Wang Yong has made. So for the conclusion, we've seen quite of a few examples of unrealistic psychological fallacies of conceptual confusion in relation to the topic we've covered in the last two chapters here. In the next chapter, I will discuss various types of weakness or shortcomings in psychological thinking, and again some of these, perhaps even most, will involve problems related to psychology, although in most cases intellectual errors will not occur, lying to psychology or psychologized, but in a way that philosophers avoid and or show insensitivity to issues about human psychology that are directly related to the question they ask and try to answer as philosophers.